All right, everybody, we're going to continue our deep dive, take a breath, into the female pelvis. And now that we have covered the entire external genitalia, or the vulva, because no, when you're looking at this, you're not seeing the vagina, we are going to go ahead and make our way into, take a breath, the inner structures, starting with, yes, most men's favorite part, the vagina, because let's be honest, that's what they care about. But this model is not ideal for that. So let's go ahead and, if you have been following along in the other videos, we do finally have a name. Let me introduce you to Queen Lilith, Her Majesty. Now, for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and break her open. And no, guys, she doesn't actually do that. So here you can see that we have the vaginal canal. The vaginal canal, or the vagina, is the entire canal and structure from the vulva that connects up through to the cervix, which is the opening of the uterus, which we'll talk about in our next video. Now, there's an important structure in here that I want to show you, so let me grab a different one. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, how many vagina models does this guy have? Well, more. Okay? Now, when you're looking at this, you should be able to see these little ridges through here. Okay? These ridges are called rugae. And the rugae are essentially folds of tissue. And what these folds do is, during arousal, they allow the vagina to actually expand with the increase in blood flow. Because the average vagina is only about 7 centimeters, or about 3 or so inches long. So, guys, you're fine. Now, during arousal, it does lengthen, and it can get upwards of 4 to 4.5 or so inches long. So again, guys, you're fine. Not to mention, if you've been paying attention to the videos prior to this gentleman, you'll realize that the external structures are much more important for her. So if you didn't, go back and watch those. They'll help you and her. And you could just ask her. She'll tell you. Now, when we talk about the vagina, there are several things that are important to know. It's essentially made up of 3 layers. The first layer, which is the inner layer, or the mucosal layer, which is much thinner, made up of those rugae, and allows for expansion to accommodate reproduction, childbirth, and even just fun. The middle layer, which is mostly made up of muscular tissue or erectile tissue that helps provide strength and rigidity to the structure. And then the outer layer, which may not seem correct to you, but remember that it's a tube inside. The outer layer is mostly made up of connective tissue that connects the vagina to the rectum, the bladder, and other pelvic structures to help prevent vaginal prolapse. Because yes, ladies, as much as I hate to tell you, it can fall out, and you don't want that. Now, additionally, the vagina has a slightly acidic pH, which we've talked about before. That slightly acidic pH can actually bleach things, leaving them a little more white or gray. So, for example, ladies, like your underwear. If you've ever wondered why they get that bleach stain, it's actually often because of the discharge, the vaginal discharge, which is slightly acidic. And remember, healthy discharge is completely normal. It's only a concern when it's abnormal for you, when there is a extreme or strong odor or yeast, or there's an itchy type feeling or burning. Then those are causes for concern where you should get checked out. But normal, healthy vaginal discharge is just the vagina doing its job. So what is the pH? Well, on average, a healthy vagina's pH is somewhere between 3.8 and 4.5. And this is because a healthy vaginal microbiome is mostly made up of a bacteria called lactobacillus. And this helps protect it and keep it slightly acidic, which prevents other harmful bacterial or yeast overgrowth. And that's incredibly important. Now, there are a lot of things that can negatively impact the vagina's health and pH. For example, you should not be douching or using some special perfume or vaginal cleansers. Those are all just really clever marketing tactics with a pink tax on them, meant to play on women's insecurities because of the society that we live in. Don't fall for it. You're fine. A vagina is supposed to smell like a vagina, not like flowers, candy, or perfume. And don't let anyone tell you different. You're not dirty. Now, the vaginous canal connects to the cervix, which is the opening to the uterus, which is what we're going to talk about in the next deep dive, because it's Endometriosis Awareness Month, and what an important thing to be talking about. So listen, I want to thank you for continuing to come on this journey with me and learn about the human anatomy as we continue to try to normalize topics that have been considered taboo for far too long. So please let me know in the comments what questions, thoughts, concerns, what do you have, and how can we continue to provide this information in a helpful, safe, and informative and fun way. Let me know. Love you.